Good evening, I guess, and welcome back to another edition of the Purple Rain podcast. Me and Sutton were talking about this before. A whole lot of Ravens news has gone down since we last spoke on Thursday. We've had two practices, we've had an open practice, and the pads have come back on at the Ravens facility. And we had a player retire just out of nowhere, too. So it's always something here with these Baltimore Ravens. But welcome back to episode 429 of the Purple Rain podcast. Just stay with me, all right? The Earl Thomas, Ardarius Washington, Kerry Williams, Tremont Williams, Darrell Worley, Marlon Humphrey for those 2 years, if you remember, Derek Martin, Chester Taylor, and most, for me, I mean, not notably, but Justin Forsett edition of the Purple Rain podcast, who, funnily enough, was at Ravens training camp today. Good old Justin Forsett. He don't make the law. He is the law, Justin Forsett. And welcome back to everybody tuning in here to episode 429 of the Purple Rain podcast. I see Void babyface alert. Yes, it had to come off. I don't know how you do it, Sutton. I don't know how people grow beards. It was too hot. It was itching. It had to go. It could not stay here much longer. But yeah, first off, you can follow us here on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. This guy here on Instagram or on X at Sutton Def. Me, Instagram simply as10.prod, X simply as10. I hope everybody had a fantastic freaking weekend. Frank, what is going on? I see Ashley. I see Coach. I see Black Daniels piece in the chat. Stretch. Everybody is here. Happy Monday. Happy Monday to you, Sutton. I know you had a crazy weekend. I had a busy weekend, but we're here to talk football. All is well in the world. I know we're not beard shaving. Coach, I don't know how you guys do it. I'm jealous. I can't do it. It just itches. So, respect to you guys.
You got to get a good, shampoo conditioner for it. You can't just get, any old one, from Walmart, whatever. You got to actually do some research on it, because everybody's different. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's, hair follicles grow differently and all that stuff. And so I definitely mean, next time you do end up growing a beard out, maybe experiment with some new shampoo conditioner, see how you like it. Yeah.
Okay.
My girl will normally, get me something, exotic. And I'm like, I'll try this. She's like, it's just specifically for beards. I'm like, all right, I'll try it. And it ends up being really nice. And my beard comes out nice and moisturized. It's not itchy, nothing like that. Yeah. But definitely in the summertime, you are more prone to getting an itchier beard and stuff. And that could be, it's not a pleasant experience. So I get what you're saying. I get where you're coming from for sure. Let me see. So, like I said, welcome back into another episode of the Purple Rain podcast. What up to my guy, Coach, who we had a crazy happy hour stream with on last Friday. That was a lot of fun. It was insane. It was a movie, like my guy Coach described it earlier today in his live. But yeah, welcome back into the show. 429 here. We got a lot to get into today, Alex. Like you mentioned, there's been a lot that's transpired since we two have last talked. And I want to start with the open practice that went down on Saturday at the University of Maryland. I know you were out of town this weekend. I've got family in town this weekend, so we weren't able to really watch it too much or be there or anything like that. I know a lot of you guys who are listening right now were, but we did review it, right? We went back and we looked at the stream and saw all the happenings and all the highlights and whatnot. So what I want to bring up on screen here just to kick us off here on this episode are some highlights from that padded practice. And I want to ask, not padded practice, but the open practice. And I want to ask you, Alex, what were some of your biggest takeaways from the open practice? Because this is your video that you cut up.
Yeah, so I made sure I was in the chat. I know Tila, I was talking to her in the chat. I saw Void was there in the chat. Actually, when Bateman made a catch, Void put the writing down emojis. As soon as he made that catch over the middle, I just started laughing my ass off because I just thought of you immediately. But a lot of the people that we see in this chat were there. It was it's like a family reunion. We're just all there, just on a Saturday chilling. But it was definitely some takes you could take away. Some players I think really helped themselves out. Some others didn't. For me, I'm going to start offensively. Adam Randall for sure. He stood out. I mean, his hands are the real deal, and obviously we're overreacting. The pads weren't on, but it's content, and we're going to talk about it. But he was, to me, kind of one of the standout guys. A lot of screens. I saw people were kind of overreacting to that, but I would rather not Declan Doyle give his plays out on a YouTube stream in, what was that? That was still July, I believe.
Yeah.
Or was that maybe August?
Or wait.
It was August 1st.
August 1st.
Yeah. I'd rather not him give away his plays the 1st of August before a preseason game. So I'm cool with it. I mean, it probably was, boring in person seeing screens, but it was a practice. And, if you want to, you can go to the castle if you have tickets and you'll see the more developed plays. But for the offense, it for me was just an Adam Randall show. I mean, he stole it from me. And then Zay, I thought he looked really well. I think his burst, somehow he looked faster. I can't believe I'm saying that, but yes, Zay Flowers did look faster to me. And then some guys on the line, for the bad, I mean, there was way too many pre-snap penalties for me. Way too many. And I'm glad we're getting out of the way in August. But it was concerning. And I know we're trying to get, guys to jump off sides and get some free yards, but they got to get it together. We got about 5-6 weeks away from week 1. Let's get it together. But offensively, like I said, number 23 stole the show for me.
Yeah, certainly some things that the Ravens do need to still clean up. Of course, those pre-snap penalties, you never want any of those, but those type of things happen at this time of year. You know what I mean? Like these guys are just getting back into work, and like you kind of got to get in a rhythm and get your sea legs underneath you, so to say, before you can really like be in that mid-season form and not be messing up with those mental mistakes and unforced errors. But no, yeah, I mean, I think you made a good point, Alex. I think one of my biggest takeaways as well was Adam Randall, because look, here's the thing. I think that, of course, obviously, Derrick Henry, running back 1, no questions asked. But that running back 2 spot, Alex, I don't think that it is necessarily Justice Hill's to lose, right? I think that it's going to be a very, very fair competition. I mean, don't let Adam Randall make a couple big plays in the preseason. They're going to install him into, with the first team. Like that's what's going to happen, like in the season, because he's just such a weapon, right? I mean, as we know, his first year playing running back last year at Clemson, he had 10 touchdowns, averaged 5 yards a carry. And again, this is his first year playing running back at Clemson. So he's actually going up against real competition, So the prospect of what Adam Randall can do, not only, of course, like you mentioned, as a runner, but also as a pass catcher too. Like some of those catches, one of them just went off the screen here a minute ago, Alex, where like the screen, it comes to him and it's low, right? It's like really low. And most running backs probably aren't getting to that ball, right? But he gets down there, he gets in, then he, gets upfield. We've been hearing about a lot of one cuts, and he's going like he's looking phenomenal so far in training camp. And I cannot wait to see what happens in that first preseason game against the Eagles, because I know for a fact he is going to get his opportunity to shine. So Adam Randall, definitely a big one for me. Rashad Bateman, as you guys know, the number 1 bait believer here, right? I mean, when he made that catch, that outstretched catch where it was way outside of his frame, I was like, man, we might finally get an unlocked Rashad Bateman in this Declan Doyle offense. I believe that. I can see Rashad Bateman really work in the middle of the field a lot this season. I feel like, Alex, you're going to see this Ravens team utilize some different guys in terms of like the deep passing game. And one of those guys for me, I think Jacoby Lane, who also is quietly stacking good practices as well. He had a good practice today at the padded practice. We'll get to that in a moment, Alex. But also some other guys too. Keon Martin balling out. Keandre Jackson balling out. Like these guys are, the secondary is kind of deep. It's pretty deep, if you ask me. Now, there's some other guys in the secondary who I haven't been the highest on recently. Cough, cough, Marlon Humphrey. Because he's been getting burnt, bro. He has been getting cooked. And I just don't know if this is the year where like it all unravels for him. You know what I mean, Alex? Like where it's just like he's clearly in obviously like a bad corner, right? He just doesn't have it anymore. It feels like he's lost a step. But what did you make of the defense just in general?
Yeah, he's levels below, I feel like, everybody else. We've heard, I want to say maybe every other corner making a play or seen it. We've heard Nate, we've heard Cheeto, we've heard Chandler Rivers, we've seen Keon Martin. We haven't heard Marlon Humphrey, and that is concerning. I know I was kind of living off the hope of good year, bad year, good year, bad year, and we're on the good year now because he had a bad year last year. Mm-hmm. But with the amount of money you're making, Mr. Humphrey, we expect production, and it's been nothing but bad things. But speaking of the defense, a couple of guys stood out to me. First off, I'm going to go with the rookie, number 9, Zion Young. It felt like to me he was in the backfield almost every play, was making his presence felt, and I don't want to say as good as we've been talking about, good as advertised, but Paz 101, it just shows he's just violent. He's relentless. He's going to make himself known, and I'm fully expecting him to have a spat with a different player coming up here soon. Maybe, heated altercation. Not really, any punches, but jawing. I'm expecting that with Zion Young because he was giving me that energy. And another guy who I thought stepped up, and he had, the perfect opportunity with Broderick not being, it was him and Broderick, but no John Jenkins, no Calais, no Namdi. It was Aeneas Peoples. I thought he made his presence known as well. Like, if there was any time for you to step up and show, what you have, it's right here. And I think he did it. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him in the preseason. I'll have my eyes on that D tackle because in this practice, he was just kind of taking on guys, making his presence known, pushing guys back. Those two guys for me really stood out on the D line. And I'll say one more. Roquan Smith does look a lot slimmer and faster. Once again, pads aren't on, But it's just, for me, it's good signs leading into the season because we really need him to go back to that form where we're talking, 100 plus, some passes deflected, some tackles for loss, some sacks. Like, I need my Agent Zero back. I've been waiting for a while now. But those are a couple of guys definitely. And Keon Martin as well. It's hard to leave him off the roster, I feel like. Especially, he had some good performances during the season last year in actual NFL play. So I expect Keon to make the roster unless he has a bad preseason.
Yeah, I definitely do as well. I mean, like I said, I'm really, really high on Keon Martin and Keandre Jackson, for that matter, getting some more time here here soon. Now, I'm reading through some of you guys' comments here. Oh, it's just training camp. It means nothing. Somebody said Marlon Humphrey. A voice says no Humphrey hate from me. Huh, that's fair. That's fair. I do just, again, contract considered, we do need to see something out of him this season. We can't constantly be in this state of, oh, he's getting burned here and there, and oh, there's defensive pass interference on him because he couldn't keep up. He lost a step or two on a guy. That actually happened today as well at the padded practice. We'll get into that in a little bit. Before we do, don't forget to join the Rain Gang, like the video, subscribe to the channel as well. We'd appreciate that here. We appreciate all of your support. By the way, we're kicked off this episode with a super chat donation from TC. Thank you so much, TC. Says, happy Monday, fam. Lamar had a down day. Take it easy on the criticism. It's just one day. You're not really getting any criticism out of me, to be honest with you.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to the padded practice part of it. And I get it. He wasn't the sharpest today, but day one of training camp, like when the pads come out, you kind of know what to expect. The defense is more than likely going to get the better of the offense, because for so long to this point, the offense has been basically going against air. The offense has basically been, not even competing really. It's just basically, hey, look, let's see if we can get the ball to this person. As soon as they get the ball, plays over pretty much. Yep. Defenders let them pretty much walk by, run through the holes. But now that you actually have pads on and contact is allowed, then it's going to look a little bit different. So I do know today, and as a matter of fact, Alex, I think we can, one more thing I wanted to touch on from this open practice, right?
Oh, yeah.
So you also had Tyler Loop at the very end of the practice, seemingly missing 2 out of his 3 kicks. Now, that's the first one there you can see on the screen chat. Now, because I counted, he only made 1. But I had Steve Loop, Steve Loop, relative of Tyler Loop. He actually emailed me this morning because I guess he watched the video where I said, hey, look, Tyler Loop missed 2 field goals. We should probably bring in some competition. And he said that was some bad data. Like, he thinks that Tyler Loop made these 2 kicks here. So this first one here, as you can see, is pretty left. Like, it's not like wide left, but like in a real game, I don't know if that would have been counted as a make. It looks like it just sneaks in, right, Alex? What do you think?
I mean, this takes me back to 2012 against the Patriots when Tucker in his rookie year had a kick similar to this. And, Chris Collinsworth said those uprights basically go to the heavens. They go to the heavens. And yeah. I think he has a point. I think if we're really talking, if they just go as far as we can see, I think that squeezes in. But that is depends on the referee, I'd say. But I didn't see, from that angle. I was actually kind of on and off watching these, but did that one?
This one, it looked like it really hooked left at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, you might give that to him, but I think the point is still the same, right? Like, even if you did want to give him those 2 near misses and you want to count those as makes, and of course he bangs through the 43-yarder to end practice, even still, it's not a good look, right? Like, I mean, from 30 and from 43, for them to be hooking wide left like this, and like, the only time that it seems like, at least lately, that he struggled is when it's like high pressure scenarios. That kind of scares me just a little bit. And I would love for the Ravens to just simply bring in some competition for him. Just bring in a vet. I'm not exactly sure who that would be, who's available right now, but bring in a vet on some sort of minimum deal, whatever it is, right? And just have him compete with him. So that way, we just don't get this. We don't get this. Like, we need somebody pushing him. Do you agree?
I do. I think it'd be best for, all parties. And we can just talk about some available kickers. There's 4 right here I see.
Okay.
Graham Gano, Brandon McManus, Daniel Carlson. Well, I'm sorry, he's a punter, Daniel Carlson. But Matt Prater, McManus, and Gano.
I've always been a fan of Matt Prater ever since the Broncos days. I've been a fan of Matt Prater for a long time. Not exactly sure what his last stint looked like wherever he was, but Buffalo. I do think, again, Buffalo? Okay.
He kicked the game winner on us week 1.
Oh, right. That's right. Yeah, so I mean, bring in Matt Prater. It can't hurt, right? right? It cannot hurt. All the cap restructures and everything like that. I'm sure they can figure something out. But this could be a big issue come season time if he's not dialed the way that we need him to be. Tyler Loop, that is, right? So I just think, it's not a big deal right now, but I just think that we should bring in some competition and just do our due diligence in that regard,
I got a proposition. I'm telling you this. UFL has some kickers. You go to the UFL, like it's going to be very little press, very little, PR. Let's see it 101. I'm all for competition. And yeah, that's really, I think, is best for business. But we'll see. I mean, it's practice. We still have a month and change, and it's what preseason's for. I'll probably be there at the Eagles game. Hell yeah, let's throw them out there for like a 50-some yarder. Let's do it.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Do it. Steve Loop in the chat joining us here. Got his popcorn ready. What's going on, Steve Loop?
Yes,
appreciate you for coming through. And appreciate the email. Appreciate the email you sent earlier today as well. I did get that. It's heard. But yeah, I'm not down on Tyler Loop. I just think that it would have been smart to, second year guy, just give him some competition, healthy competition at that. I just feel like it couldn't hurt. Anywho, let's go ahead and move on here to the first padded practice of the day, or of the training camp, which happened earlier today. So I'm just going to play this little highlight reel of what happened at the padded practice today at Owings Mills. Owings Mills was training camp day 6. Lots of things to take away from this practice, Alex. I'll kind of go through it here. Let me see. Defense really taking over, really dominating this one. Offense looked really slow. Lamar Jackson and Tyler Huntley were frequently forced to check the ball down or escape the pocket today in their 11-on-11s and 7-on-7s. Most of Baltimore's deep passes fell incomplete today. The running backs still found them some space, but the running lanes were significantly smaller than earlier in camp. That's another note. And then the defense's coverage and run discipline appeared to drive the victory rather than a series of reported turnovers. And again, Alex, I think it's just a byproduct of, first padded practice is always going to favor the defense. You're allowed to finally be physical. Like, your superpower as a defensive player is being physical, right? And when you can't do that, you kind of just have to let the offense just do whatever and just walk through their game plan, So I'm not like concerned or anything like that for this Ravens offense. I'm really not. I do want to go ahead and read through something Jesse Minter said. Jesse Minter described the practice as part of the normal back and forth of training camp. He expects both units to have successful days once the film is reviewed. Monday was still a tag off practice. Minter said the Ravens will introduce more contact on ball carriers during Tuesday's session, meaning the physicality should continue increasing. Okay, so yeah, love that. So we got a padded practice today. We're actually going to get a more physical practice tomorrow. That should be a lot of fun. Cannot wait for that. Now, Alex, I got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw, and this is kind of like maybe like a quick little side note here, but there were a couple people, because they actually had the training camp on NFL Network today.
Okay.
And there were a couple people there, and I heard some rumblings about what was it? Ian Rappaport, I think it was.
Yeah.
Ian Rappaport saying that it's hard to keep Lamar Jackson engaged. Let's take a listen.
Coordinator openings, I thought for a long, certainly it was a hot name across the NFL last year when it came to coordinator openings. I thought for a long time he was not going to leave the Chicago Bears, not going to leave Ben Johnson, someone who was sort of plucked from obscurity by Ben Johnson, has been learning there, really liked the process of getting to know him and really getting into the playbook. And then this opportunity arose, right? And this is really a rare opportunity to coach an MVP. I was just in Cleveland. I was talking to head coach Todd Monk, and I've spent a lot of years in Baltimore. Look, Lamar is talented, super talented. It is also a challenge reaching him, getting him engaged. It is something that Monk did exceptionally well, but for a lot of coaches, it could be an uphill battle. Right. Certainly seems like Declan Doyle has climbed that mountain, has gotten and engaged Lamar Jackson. If he is even just at the level that he was when Monken first took over the new coach and new schemes, just fully engaged like that, then this very, very talented Baltimore Ravens team can get the best of him, and the best of Lamar means this team is going to go a long.
So, Alex, what are your thoughts when you hear Ian Rappaport basically claim that Lamar Jackson is hard to work with?
Cite your sources. Who's saying this? I'm tired of hearing And they're protecting the people telling them because they get this, news from them inside the castle, but it's just something every single year. So he shows up to every practice, mandatory and non-mandatory. And now it's hard to keep him engaged. Like, what are we talking about here? What are we basing this off of? Because I think for me, it's not really a Lamar thing. I think it's an OC thing because why is his one OC now a head coach? The other one is out the league, and now his new one is 29 years old, taking over the fan base and just kind of the NFL like being so young. Engaged? Maybe you heard it with Greg Roman. Can you blame him? The guy's out the league now. The offense was boring. It was elementary. Steve Smith said, everybody said it. Peyton Manning, Eli Manning. But now it's just, they gotta find a way. And this is just very nasty. I hate it. I saw this clip. I'm just like, who? Who said it, Ian? Who told you? Because it's the same thing we hear, but it's just like different font. Same message, different font every year. And it's either lazy, sleeps in practice. We heard that from Mike Preston. Still waiting to hear somebody else report that.
Up all night playing video games.
Yeah, playing video games.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. I mean, I saw somebody say in the chat, like, it's lazy journalism. That's exactly what it is. I'd go as far to say that there are some racial undertones to that as well. I would also say that, we need to, somebody's like you mentioned, we got to start getting some sources because you can't just report on vibes, because that's what this feels like. It's just like, oh yeah, we heard that Mike Preston put out in the offseason. That maybe that's where they're getting it from. Maybe that's where they're getting from. Like, they've kind of stored that hit piece on Lamar Jackson in their mental Rolodex on things you can bring up as to why or detractors for Lamar. And it's like nobody ever proved any of that. Right. Lamar Jackson has only said, and they've only said about Lamar Jackson, the new coaching staff that like he's been a joy to work with so far. Declan Doyle and Lamar Jackson, they are basically conjoined at the hip in these training camp practices. Right. They're always talking to each other, always communicating. Jesse Minter and Declan Doyle. You talk about hard to reach Lamar. As soon as Jesse Minter and Declan Doyle became Ravens, they flew down to Florida and met with Lamar Jackson and chopped it up with him. But it's hard to reach him. It's hard to keep him engaged. Oh, I can understand if it was hard to keep him engaged if he missed all of OTAs, all of minicamp, everything. If he missed all that stuff, but he didn't. He was locked in. And everything that he has said in interviews in the past couple of weeks also further solidifies that, that take. What did he say last week, Alex? He was saying something like, a big theme of what Lamar Jackson was saying last week. He was like, it starts now. The hard work, It starts now. We want to be champions, but like we have to stack days, like, and we have to show up for each other each and every day. That doesn't sound like a person who's disengaged from the team, disengaged from football. It doesn't sound like somebody who doesn't love the game. Meanwhile, you had Joe Burrow saying last year, hey, I don't know if I'm going to love this for too much longer, But nobody's saying that Joe Burrow's not engaged. I heard somebody say on Fox Sports 1 earlier today that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to win the AFC North, and on paper, it's not even close. That's what they're saying. So it's just like, there's a lot of bulletin board material certainly out there. There's a lot to prove for this Ravens team. And I could not be, I just can't wait for the regular season, Alex, right?
I'm right there with you. And what more does he have to do this season as a teammate? I feel like it's been nothing but the best. He's went out there, he's talked up every single guy possible, has not put anybody down, has stated how excited he is to work with Declan Doyle. I think the Wired backs it up. It's not just press conference talk. We see it even when, maybe they don't think cameras are rolling. Mm-hmm. We see how engaged she is with him. And he looks like he's having the most fun right now in a while that he's had in a while. Can you blame him? He said, Zay Flowers said the players can relate to Declan Doyle. Yeah. I'd be having a lot of fun if I'm with a guy who I know is going to bring some crazy, just new plays, just a new whole offensive scheme. Hell yeah, I'd be excited. So I don't think it should be a surprise to these journalists, but they're taking it and maybe running with it. So whatever. But I'm excited for him, for Lamar. And like I said, it's lazy. Whoever said in the chat, that's the perfect way to put it, lazy journalism.
Oh, yeah.
And how many times do we see it a year? We're going to see it maybe when Lamar misses 1 or 2 practices he eats the 7-Eleven freaking sushi. That he'll miss a practice for an illness, and then they'll say, oh, he's not. Sushi. He's
crazy.
not locked in. He's gonna have some crazy gas station food, and we understand. He probably had some lettuce a couple weeks ago when that was all getting recalled. But they'll just kind of make a big deal about it, and they'll say the season's over and Lamar's not, focused on being a Raven. We go through it every year. It's just tiring. It really is.
Yeah. Let me see. Somebody said, Tila said, bring Ian on the show. We promise we won't jump him. That'd be
I'd love
hilarious.
to talk to Ian.
Yeah, for sure. Just want to know, like, where did you get that from? I just want to ask a simple question. Where'd you get that from? What's your source on that? But I guess those guys up in those high media spaces, they protect one another, right? They can say one thing and then put it out there. Oh, my sources said this. And it's like, you don't have to even cite who exactly that was. It's just nasty. The whole thing is nasty. Got a super chat donation. This one's coming from OG Juju Bean, dropping the 10 piece in the chat, making it rain.
Said he'd be ready to quit playing because he wasn't having fun. Yet no one cares, and Lamar, who is ready to put it all on the line, is somehow the guy who isn't engaged. #BS.
Not having fun when you're with the best receiver in the league, in my opinion, who is a very close friend of yours, who you played with in college, in the NFL, another top 15 receiver. We aren't going to debate receiving. I think T. Higgins is top 15. I think that's fair to say. Maybe top 20 to be safe.
Yeah.
You have now a revamped line, a new defense, a running back in Chase Brown. Not having fun?
Not having fun, though. But nobody, we swept that under the rug. Nobody brings that up anymore. No one brings that up anymore. It's all me. Joe Burrow's coming back. He's going to be healthy this season. They got Dexter Lawrence now, and there's still Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, so they could be really, really good. They're the only team in the AFC North that didn't change coaches this season, so there could be some continuity there, and they could pull ahead in this division. That's what everybody's saying. And again, I don't understand why we are discounting the Baltimore Ravens so much. You know what I mean? Like, in Lamar Jackson, of course, for that matter. But just the Baltimore Ravens as a whole, it's almost like, and I said this earlier in the offseason, Alex, they're treating the departure of Harbaugh and the arrival of Jesse Minter as a bad thing. They're treating it as like it's more than just like an unknown. Like, we just don't know yet. No, there's people saying that the Ravens could potentially regress and completely fall apart. And I'm just like, that really doesn't make a lot of sense to me at all. Because again, you have Jesse Minter, who's a defensive-minded head coach who turned the Chargers defense from pretty much worst to first when he came in and he joined them. And now he's joining this Ravens defense, or this Ravens team, that has way more talent than the Chargers did. So it makes no sense. It doesn't add up at all when they say these sort of things. But thank you so much, OG Juju Bean. You're absolutely right. Cannot believe bro said that, and they just kind of swept it under the rug.
So was Lamar not engaged enough when he asked to remove the ping pong tables and all that from the locker room?
Talk about it.
When we were 1-5, came back, kept pushing for a playoff spot, got hurt, came back again, put us in a position to win the division. Not engaged enough. Interesting. With the bottom-ranked defense, not engaged enough. Come on.
Makes no sense.
Nasty.
Let's move on from that. Ian Rappaport mess right there. So I want to get into some of the highlights from today's training camp, and I promise we'll get through some more notes as well. But there was another kind of big play. This was probably the biggest play of the day. Lamar Jackson to Jacoby Lane. Let me turn the music off because we don't need that. But Lamar to Jacoby Lane. That was a pretty nice sight to see. I mean, and this is why I said, Alex, I think that the deep ball is going to be designed for guys like Jacoby Lane. What we've been hearing so far, he has got some really good movement out there, contrary to, that workout video you put out a couple of weeks ago where people were kind of crapping on him for looking all stiff and whatnot. Apparently in practice, he's looking very good, very fluid. And then also going out on some of these deep routes here, which I didn't really expect. I expected Jacoby Lane to be more of just like strictly, okay, red zone, we're here, this is what we're doing. But like Lamar Jackson said, no, like I'm going to go down the field to this guy. This guy is basically like Isaiah Likely 2.0. And what I mean by that, I don't mean to say that like he's already better than Isaiah Likely. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying he has a similar body type, a similar play style to Isaiah Likely, but he's also a wide receiver, right? He's also a little bit smaller, faster, things like that. So I think you're going to be able to use him in a couple more different ways than you would have been able to use Isaiah Likely, getting down the field, stretching the field with him and stuff like that, as opposed to Likely where normally he's going to go over the middle or run some sort of tight end route. But this guy, he can do a lot more. Now, with this catch here, while it was a big play, doesn't really seem like anybody was in the vicinity. With this catch here, it did look like he almost dropped it. I'm not going to lie. Let me actually slow it down for the chat here.
Yeah.
Let me slow it down frame by frame because you see it like right there. Let me go back a little bit. Ball's in the air. He gets it over the shoulder. So here's right here where he's kind of, trying to haul this pass in, but it kind of goes through his hands and he has to kind of bring it into his lap in order to finish the catch. See, like right there, like that wasn't the most encouraging thing. You would love to see, just a pure hands catch, right? I don't know if you saw that video. This is real quick aside here. Did you see that video of George Pickens just like jumping out of the gym and making like a crazy acrobatic catch and making it just look easy as possible? No, man, I gotta try to find that. I gotta try to find that. It made me jealous. I'm not gonna lie, and it made me mad all over again for drafting David Ojabo over George Pickens. But yeah. So far, Jacoby Lane, he has been doing work in practice. Let me read some notes right here on Jacoby Lane today. Lane produced against Baltimore starting cornerbacks during the one-on-one drills. He beat Chido Awuzie down the left sideline for a deep reception. I think that's the one that we're looking at here, Alex. And then he made another catch over the middle while matched up against Marlon Humphrey. He received 2 end zone targets during team drills. He did not record a touchdown, but he drew pass interference when 2 defenders collided with him before the ball arrived. Lane is establishing himself, as one of the Baltimore's biggest red zone threats early in camp. And here's the thing. When you have like these big body type receivers, I feel like what happens a lot of time when the ball's in the air, DBs panic. They panic. You know what I'm saying? Because like this guy is like already got the size on you. He can jump out of the gym, right? And that's a threat. So you kind of have to hold. You kind of have to. So I could see Jacoby Lane. Here's another thing, Alex. I could see him. Remember, like I said before, like I think we'll maybe see him on some deep routes and things like that. I feel like the reason you're going to see that is because Lamar Jackson is going to give him an opportunity. He's going to throw it up, and it could potentially come in, turn into like a Joe Flacco deep to Torrey Smith type of situation where sometimes he would just throw it up to him if he was one-on-one, and he knew that either one or two things were going to happen. Jacoby Lane, or Torrey Smith in that regard, was going to come down with the football, or he was going to get interfered with, and we're going down the field anyway. So I could see definitely the Ravens trying to utilize Jacoby Lane in a similar way, which makes me excited because again, before I was thinking like mainly red zone is where this guy's going to make his money, and between the 20s we'll see a lot more Elijah Surratt and things like that. Who, by the way, Elijah Surratt is apparently a little banged up right now, and it's not looking 100%. So we're going to have to continue to monitor that situation. But what are your thoughts on Jacoby Lane?
Yeah, I saw Surratt had a drop today. Not to kind of harp on him, not to beat a dead horse, but about Jacoby Lane, to your point about the penalty, I can definitely see the deep ball to him, and he gets past the defender, and now the defender is trying to make up ground, and Lamar puts in the spot where only Jacoby can get it, and the defender runs into Jacoby, and there's your pass interference, spot foul. There's a free 30, 40, 50 yards that, for me, from what I saw in the open practice, with the pre-snap and with them trying to, gain the penalty yards, like Declan Doyle, I think, wants to get yards in any way possible, whether it be run, pass, flags. He's making an emphasis to just get down the field. And I think that's why we had so many pre-snaps on Saturday, which, like you said, it's early. You can get those jitters out the way. But I see what he's trying to do. And with Jacoby, he's not trying to make him a one-trick pony. I think when we drafted him, I was expecting red zone, maybe a third and short. But if you can go the deep ball and unlock that in this offense, now he's on the field, it's like, all right, what type of defensive back are you putting on him? Because if you put the faster guy on there, we know Jacoby in contested catches. We've seen it. We saw him at USC. Like, it's a joke. The guy was making one-handed catches with the guy draped all over him. Now, when he goes deep, you're going to put a beefier guy. Can he keep up with him? I don't know. Now, obviously, the route running has to improve, but from what we've seen and what we've heard so far, it's all good things. Even his rep against Ladarius Webb Jr., who I have a soft spot in my heart for in the open practice, was like 10 yards, out route, easy catch, separated. Obviously, use some of that strength, a little bit of a push off, but best receivers know how to get away with it. I'm not mad at it. Is this a George Pickens that you're telling about? Like, shut up. Shut up.
Like, seriously, man.
Oh, my. Now
he's
you're showing
incredible.
off, George. You're showing off.
Yeah, he's incredible, man. Like, that is, I rue the day that draft. And what year was it? 2020,
20,
whatever.
22.
Yeah,
Oh,
22. And I'll never forget it because I remember when we drafted Ojabo, I think we did an emergency live, or we made a video or something like that. I remember. But yeah, now 4 years later, the fact that David Ojabo is, I don't know what David Ojabo is doing. He's selling
Miami.
car insurance or okay. He was in Miami. Gotcha. All right. So at least he's still in the league. But and you got George Pickens here, one of the best wide receivers in the league, top 10 wide receivers in this league. So missed opportunity there, of course, but I do want to get back to these Ravens here. So some more notes from today's training camp. Let me see what else we had here. Let me see. I want to get to the offensive players a little bit more, but Nadi Madubuike, he was also at practice in pads today, and he was rocking the neck pad. You can see Cordell Woodland, friend of the show, reporting that here with a picture. You can see 92 on the left there wearing that neck pad. And it's funny because you don't really see that too much in today's NFL, right? It was more of a yesteryear sort of thing. Like guys used to wear those big guys, those big linebackers, even sometimes wear those neck pads. That's how you just had a big physical monster, hard hitting monster. That was when back in those days when they were actually allowed to hit All-Star. Yeah. LeVar Arrington, guys like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yeah.
You don't want him running at you if a guy has a neck brace.
Yeah.
They're going to clean your shit. It's try to block them or just get out the way. And that's low-key Madubuike. Try to stop him, it's not going to happen, especially that first game back. That neck brace the neck pad just is, it instills fear, I feel like, in other
it does. It definitely does. That was what I was looking for. That's what I was trying to say. It is definitely an intimidating accessory, that's for sure.
And the visor, the blacked out visor too.
Yeah.
Good luck.
We're cooking when it comes to Madubuike. Now, a couple things, because I actually have something that I want to show you, Alex, about just an interview between Steve Weish and Kyle Hamilton. I want to get to that in a second, but like I said before, I promised, I want to keep going through the offensive players. Let's get through that really quick. Matthew Hibner keeps producing. Hibner remained one of the most productive young pass catchers. He recorded 3 catches during the 11-on-11 work. He caught a red zone touchdown from Skylar Thompson while Thompson rolled to his right. He also caught a red zone screen that likely would have resulted in another touchdown during a live game. His continued production can make the competition for Baltimore's reserve tight end spots more interesting. So that was Matthew Hibner. And with a lot of people have been talking about the tight end room and whether or not they're concerned about it. Me personally, I am, because Mark Andrews going into year whatever it is for Mark Andrews, I just don't know if he's. I just don't know if he's going to be able to turn the clocks back and give us a true Mark Andrews vintage season where he's getting 10 touchdowns and something like that, and he's just kind of all over the field. He's Lamar Jackson's go-to third down weapon, that sort of thing. Because what we saw last year was a clear regression for Mark Andrews, which was concerning. And to add insult to I words, we lost Isaiah Likely and Charlie Kohler. So one of these young guys is going to have to step up early. Hibner and or Cuevas. Of course, Durham Smythe is going to be mainly utilized as a blocking tight end. But one of those guys, Matthew Hibner and Josh Cuevas, they got to step up and start making some plays, because I do expect for Declan Doyle to be running a lot of 12 and 13 personnel, having a bunch of tight ends out there, which means somebody's got to produce.
Yeah, right? It's year 9 for Mark Andrews. And listen, I'm not trying to compare the two. Just stay with me. In Travis Kelce's year 9, he put up 1,125 yards and 9 touchdowns. So, listen, Andrews is younger than Kelce was in year 9, so forgive me for expecting, around 7 to 850 yards and definitely more than 5 touchdowns. I expect that from him. You're the leader in this tight end receiving room. Hibner had himself a rough day on Saturday, but a good bounce back practice day, which is, you want to hear that from your young guy. But Mark, he had a good catch with Roquan draped over him. I need more. I saw there was one small clip the Ravens put out where Lamar threw it over him, over the shoulder catch. He made it, which all good signs. But it's if there's anybody who has to have a resurgence, it's number 89. Last year, obviously, was not the best. This year, like you said, we're running multiple tight ends. Who's going to be next to him? And if it's somebody who maybe isn't, up to that standard, you've got to, hold the workload. So, Mark, I need something for you. I'm rooting for you. I know we've kind of talked about hopefully you can turn back the clocks. just looking at other guys in year 9, I don't see why you can't do it. You're coming off of a healthy offseason. The car accident was that one offseason and coming back from an I word, but now it's like, all right, you got a full healthy offseason. What are you going to show me this time? When your team needs you more than ever, you don't have Likely there who we knew could, handle the load. Kolar could, help block as well. It's you. So are you going to step up? Or are you going to say, you know what, well, maybe this is my last year with the Ravens. Who knows? But I'm rooting for him. I'm pulling for him, but definitely want to see more from him. We won't see him in the preseason, so definitely, week 1 when that comes.
For sure. Week 1 against the Colts, man, I need to see some vintage Mark Andrews. I do indeed.
Gosh.
In Indianapolis, too. By the way, guys, over 100 people watching this episode live. Please be sure to leave a like on the video if you're just joining us here, and subscribe to the channel if you are new and you like this daily Ravens content that we got coming out. I know you guys have noticed there's been a slight uptick in Ravens content that's been coming out here at PRP over the last week or so. That will not change, okay? Your boy did have some company in town, some family in town, so I didn't get to do as much content the past few days, but worry not. We're getting right back on the horse here in the next few days. So make sure you stay tuned and stay locked in to the Purple Rain Podcast YouTube channel for all things Baltimore Ravens. Now, Alex, there was one more offensive player that I wanted to mention here. Zay Flowers making the catch of one-on-ones today. Zay Flowers defeated Marlon Humphrey for a contested deep reception during wide receiver versus cornerback drills. And I think he was actually even interfered with as well. I think there was a defensive pass interference on Marlon Humphrey, and Zay Flowers still said basically, like, doesn't matter, and won. He finished through the contact. So Marlon Humphrey, again, like we mentioned, we don't have to stick on him too long, but like, I just, for me, it's going to be a short leash for Marlon this year. Like if he's the reason why, our secondary is seemingly getting torched and like he's allowed, because he allowed a hell of a lot of yards last season. Him and Nate Wiggins, they did. They were both like top 5 in yards allowed for cornerbacks, right? So we're going to need to see a resurgence from Nate Wiggins. So I expect to see that, especially considering that he is 100% healthy now, seemingly according to him, right? Nate Wiggins, but Marlon Humphrey, I just think it's time, man. I just think it's time. Every dog has its day. Marlon Humphrey has been amazing for us for the greater part of 6, 7, 8 seasons, like 8, 9 seasons, right?
I think this might be year 10 for him.
Yeah, I think this is year 10. Yeah, this is year 10 for him. So, but it might just be time. It might just be time. That's really what it boils down to, Alex,
Yeah, I know why I knew it was getting bad. Actually, this weekend, I hopped on TikTok, and I saw a low lights Marlon Humphrey reel.
Ooh.
With the new Washed Anthem, which is now Changes by Tupac. So it's no more Outstanding by the Gap Band. Is now Changes is the new Washed Anthem. And it was all plays from this last year of Marlon Humphrey.
Yes.
It was getting burnt from guys from Jalen Naylor, DK Metcalf. It was bad. And I'm like, there's no way this is not the Marlon Humphrey I know. Obviously, he had a down year a couple years ago, but really bounced back in other ways. But now it's like, I need you 44. And just show me some signs of life. Show me some signs that fruit punch is still there. Breaking up passes, punching the ball. I just need something. Just give me a reason to hope. But thankfully, we are deep in that room, but we do like to have a deep secondary, and I think he's going to make the roster, no doubt about it, but I just want to see something. Whether it be one really strong practice, like Marlon Humphrey was 2 passes broken up, 1 pick, and I'm sucked right back in. But just give me that, Marlon. Give me one more day. That's all I'm asking for.
I need that. Purple City says in the chat, I been gave up on Marlo. Man, it hurts. It hurts. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, because at one point, man, he was definitely a top 5 cornerback in this league, and I went to bat for him so many years, Okay, let's go ahead and let me see what else do we have here. So you had some defensive linemen returning today, Alex. You had Calais Campbell making his training camp debut, and John Jenkins both returning and participating in practice. Neither veteran participated in 11-on-11 or 7-on-7 periods, suggesting that they're probably gradually working them back into the full team action, but they were there at the castle today and they were practicing, albeit maybe like separately, or maybe they just weren't, again, not in the 11-on-11s, but they were practicing with their respective units. So that's good to hear. Love to hear that.
Real quick on Calais,
yeah, sure.
Did you see the video of him walking out to practice?
I did.
I just want to give that man a hug. Like,
he looked a little sad.
Like, that's not, and obviously we know the situation. I want to bring it back up, but That if that didn't happen, I'd be a little worried. But
Yeah.
when he walks out, it's usually him yelling, "Yes, sir." It's him, dapping up all the kids. I'm just like, I'm praying for you, Calais.
For
He's
sure.
going through it, and I'm like even surprised he's back this soon because I wasn't expecting him back until maybe week 3 of the preseason. Obviously, he is a vet; he's seen it all. But for him coming back he just probably needs football, and I'm glad the team's around him. But I'm praying for him.
Yeah, praying for him for sure. I said it the other week. I think that he's going to be playing with a lot of emotion this year, obviously because of what happened a couple of weeks ago with his mother and brother, but then also because this is his last season. This is his last ride. So, I think you're really going to see a motivated Calais Campbell to really go out there and wreak havoc, which I would love to see. But like you mentioned before, definitely keeping Calais Campbell in our prayers because, it was only a few weeks ago. That's still fresh, very, very fresh for him. And that's why I said, when you mentioned his walkout, I thought I was the only one who noticed it. It just didn't look the same. So, hope he's doing okay. Hope he's doing okay. And again, Calais, we're praying for you. We're praying for you. Moving right along here. I did want to, like I said before, Alex, there was something that Kyle Hamilton said in an interview with Steve Weish earlier today that I wanted to get your take on here. Let me know if you caught the same thing that I caught here from Kyle Hamilton. Let's take a listen.
Made his hay coaching DBs.
Yeah.
Are you noticing something that he's doing with some of the stuff him and Anthony Weaver are trying to do with the secondary that's like, okay, this is going to be pretty cool?
Yeah, I can tell he has a lot of faith in us, a lot of trust in us, just by the way, our technique wants us to get up and press a lot. He likes us in press and, likes us challenging receivers. And, it's not something that goes unnoticed as a defensive and as a defensive backs room. Having confidence in yourself is most important, but people around you having confidence in you just only helps that much more.
Think about challenging.
See, nobody's talking about this, Alex. I haven't seen anybody talk about this, but did you not just hear Kyle Hamilton say, one thing that's different about this Jesse Minter defense is they trust us. They trust our technique. So what does that mean? We're playing more press, right? We're playing a lot more press. And last season, they had us back 10 yards off of our receiver, right? And they were just getting whatever they wanted to. We basically just had to react to whatever was happening in front of us, right? They didn't even give us a chance. So they didn't believe in it brings me back to just so many different things, Alex. Of course, guys playing 10 yards off the receiver. Also, you remember that against the Bills, I think it was in week 1 against the Bills, where we rushed 2 guys, or we rushed 3 or something like that.
Final play before the half. One of the
final play
plays.
before the half, and you still get burned on that play. It's I feel like there was no trust in Zach Orr for his defense, and I feel like Jesse Minter is the complete polar opposite. You're going to be seeing guys literally walking up to the line of scrimmage, press man. You know what I'm saying? You're not just going to get no free release on me, because that was killing us last year. It was killing us last year. I can't tell you how many times I wanted to rip my hair out when Nate Wiggins, all the speed that he has, playing 12 yards off his guy. Makes no sense. That Rams game really comes to mind for me. But yeah, we do have a super chat donation right here. This one's from Death to Beta. Thank you so much, brother. Says, do y'all remember when Lamar tripped the reporter up a few years ago when he said, "Where are your sources?"
Yes.
I don't remember that.
I do. It was a CBS Sports reporter. I think it was the year Lamar put on a little bit of weight. And he was saying, I heard you don't like to work out or train. He's like, who told you that? It's like sources. And he's like, Lamar's like, okay, what are your sources? I'll pull up the video for you. He pressed him and the reporter just had no answer for it. Just sources. Lamar's like, okay.
Yeah,
that was a pretty cringe moment, I'd say, because what was the reporter getting out of that? If you say sources, of course, the player you're talking about wants to know. But going back to Kyle real quick, the amount of screenshots I think we saw of Nate Wiggins honestly being out of the TV frame, giving that much cushion on plays. You'd see the receiver and there'd be no defensive back even close to him, because they give so much cushion, and it's a 5-yard, and then they just take it for first, catch it, and then first down. And it really hurt Nate, because I think he gave up some of the most yards in the whole league, and it reflects him now. It's because the coaching put him in a bad situation, now the player's getting slack for it, which I hate seeing that. But I'm glad, we caught this, and I'm glad, Minter is trusting guys. And Nate, that was his bread and butter in Clemson, that press. He can keep up with almost any receiver. I'm looking forward to number 2 this year.
Yeah, Khalil Bowling says here in the chat, of all the DBs that need to play press, Nate is the main one. It didn't make any sense why he was so far off of the ball. Yes, and Khalil, bro, there were so many times where I'm watching the game and I'm like, do I just not know ball? Is there a reason like why constantly, our guys are just backed way up. Like there's just so much cushion we're giving these guys. I saw somebody say in the chat, Mike said that third down or fourth down, whatever, against the Bills, we dropped 9 into coverage and we still gave up the sideline.
Oh.
I was just like, that should have told you everything that you need to know right there. If you were, but here's the thing. That was John Harbaugh.
Yeah.
John Harbaugh, like, it was basically like an echo chamber. Like, they thought that they could do no wrong. Harbaugh, Zach Orr, Monken, who kind of got thrown under the bus a couple times by Harbaugh, but Zach Orr, you could tell, was his guy. So much to the point where even after having a losing season and missing the playoffs, Harbaugh said, hey, look, I want to run it back with my guys. We like our guys, And what's his name? Big Steve was like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. We went 8-9. We missed the playoffs. Lamar Jackson is going into year 9 next year. We got to make some shit happen. So now exit Harbaugh, enter Minter, and you can even just tell the players here are much more excited about playing for Jesse Minter and this, the rest of his coaching staff, because they feel like the coaches are actually giving them a chance to put their talents on display, right?
Even more so, Steve saw the bank was not even selling out. You have games where there's a lot of open seats on a prime time. That's not Ravens football. And I'm glad we're talking about interviews, because I saw Roger Rosengarten had one after, and he mentioned the struggles in the fourth quarter. He said finishing in the fourth quarter hasn't been our best. That's not Ravens football. Roger, I appreciate you, but for the past couple of years, it has been Ravens football, blowing leads, and you've been a part of it. It's not your fault as a lineman, but please just be the one to kind of just take that narrative, rip it up, and throw it away. But I'm glad the players realize, what has been going on for years has been the constant blown leads, because we've talked about that for how long now? How we can't go up 2 scores in the fourth and feel comfortable because we blow it. How many screenshots of the score ticker do we have to see when the Ravens have a lead in the fourth quarter and it's blown? Obviously, new coaching matters, but I'm glad the players do recognize that and are working to kind of beat that narrative, or just beat that label that they honestly give themselves.
Yeah. So yeah, very telling stuff there from Kyle Hamilton. Like when I heard that earlier today, I was like, why are more people not talking about this? Because that was like one of the biggest things that really annoyed me about the Ravens defense last season. The fact that Kyle Hamilton is basically confirming there that, like, yeah, I love that he wants us to play press man, like press coverage, because he trusts our abilities. Like, that's everything. That's everything to me, and it's really an indictment on last year's coaches. Now, Alex, I want to go ahead and get into, what else do we have? What else was important from today's camp? Anything that you remember? Am I missing anything?
The Rosengarten presser was really telling. That's a really really go watch if you haven't.
Yeah.
I think Trenton Simpson had a good play on Zay Flowers. He showed his speed off. I think I was right about that. That was big. Yeah. I think Trent, man, I'm really excited for him in the defense. Not sure where he's going to play, but even in the open practice, he was just running around, flying, letting him just play, like, not like a Patrick Queen, but just kind of seeing the ball and getting the ball. I think we'll see the best out of number 32 when he's playing like that. But that's really about it. This video was released. There was a rep, actually, I saw. It was Ronnie Stanley on Trey Hendrickson. It was like a 2-second clip.
Yeah.
But those two going against each other is great for both parties.
Absolutely. I think it's right there, isn't it? It's right here. Yeah.
Right there. Yep. Yeah.
Yep. So, I said that last week, I think, on Quiet Storm. Like, you talk about iron sharpening iron. You got 2 vets who have been damn good at their job for most of their careers, and like having those guys go at it is going to make it all the easier for them to go up against lesser talent when they start playing these games in September. So we'll have to see Mark Andrews with a nice little catch there. Love to see that. But yeah, I think that was about it from today's training camp that I wanted to get into. Oh no, actually, I'm wrong. We do have some more, like you mentioned, the interviews, right? So you have Venga Ioane actually speaking for the first time today too. And people have been saying Venga Ioane, he looks as advertised. He looks as advertised. Let me see if I can bring up some of his clips here.
There is a lot of expectations that come with being the first round pick. But, we come in here, we talk a lot about it in the team meeting room, prove them right. That's my whole goal out here. I got to earn my keep, earn my spot out there. But while I'm doing that, I'm trying to prove the staff right, prove the team right for picking me in the first round.
Yeah, love that from Venga.
Mentality.
Great
Yeah,
mentality.
that means a lot to me because coming in, as a rookie, there's a lot of expectations, things like that. But my whole mindset coming in was to, earn my keep, earn the trust of the guys in the room, the entire offense, and hearing that makes me feel like I'm doing a good job of that. It's never to be satisfied about, but there's a lot of things to keep building.
He speaks like a 10-year vet. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like he does not sound at all like a rookie. Here's another one.
We have a bunch of great guys in the room. We have Ronnie, the oldest guy in our room. He's a great leader for us. We got John Simpson, they're on the left side. Me and Raj, sure you guys have heard it, but I feel like I've been playing with him for a long time. He's a phenomenal young player. Feels like he's been in the league for 10 years. When we go out there, it feels like, just like I said, we play for a long time with each other, but, going out there just feels natural to play with those, 4 guys. Being a young guy coming in just feels good for me to,
That's pretty big too, Alex. The fact that he's already developed a lot of chemistry with Roger Rosengarten. I love that.
Yeah, and Taylor brought up here, they talked about the O-line got together for dinner and to build chemistry. And
Oh, nice. I didn't know that.
especially, that line, you guys are playing next to each other every single play, not moving around. That's huge for those guys. And what's huge is Engraven saying shout out to the Rain Gang. Shout out to you, Mr. Team Keep It Clean. Thank you for spending your Monday evening here with us. Thank you.
What up? Shout out to Team Keep It Clean. But yeah, no, it's just I didn't know that about the dinner though. I didn't hear about that. That's interesting. Y'all went to dinner together. That's cool.
I want to know how much that bill was. No disrespect. That's
all those big boys.
That's the whole line eating. No disrespect.
Right.
Where did we go? And what was the bill? And Venga definitely paid. Rookie dinner probably. But
had to have, yeah. No, if I had to like set the over under, because we were talking about like all the offensive linemen on the team, like what do we got? Like what, 8? Maybe?
Well, with the 90-man roster, we're talking like.
Well, I don't know if it would be all the guys from the 90. I think it would just be like the guys who either first string, second string, rookies. But camp bodies, I wouldn't really see them all getting together. Maybe, I'm not sure. But let's just assume it's, the starting 5.
Yeah.
Then your couple backups like your Carson Vincents, your Emory Jones,
yep.
Your Lichtenhans, guys like that. If I had to set the over under for how much that dinner was, I'd say easily like $2,000. I would say. It depends on where you went.
Yeah.
Maybe it's more though, right? Maybe it's more.
Well, were we drinking anything? Obviously, it's camp, but I don't know if maybe some nice, like maybe a little bit of champagne was popped. I'm not too sure. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah.
But
I might say like $4,000. I'll double it. Yeah. Because those are some big boys. They can eat. And I'm sure they were getting probably the most premium proteins that they had on the menu. So, there it is. Also, like you mentioned, Roger Rosengarten said a few things today too.
Lamar's Lamar, man. He came in OTAs and he established it, and we were watching old clips and he was saying that's not good enough. The stuff that we put on tape last year, and there was some good, some bad, but the bad stuff, it wasn't good enough. So Lamar's done a great job instilling that into the whole foundation of the offense, and I think him and Declan have really gelled super well together, and it's trickled down the room. You get with the receivers, the running backs, the tight ends, the offensive line. Man, it's been great to see. So, going to this camp, I just want to continue to build on that, and Lamar's doing that too. So it's been exciting.
Love to hear that Lamar Jackson is like stepping up and taking more of like a leadership role, like telling these guys, like calling them out, holding them accountable. Hey, this shit's not good enough, guys. Like I'm telling you right now, like I'm a year 9 vet now. I'm not settling for, average. I'm not settling for, what we were doing last year. No, we need to be better. Right? I love that from Lamar. I love him being vocal. That is.
I thought he wasn't engaged. That's what I was told. That's what I was
Alex. Told. Damn, that's right.
Wait, he was watching film? He doesn't watch film. He was playing video games. He was asleep He was asleep.
Even though I've never actually seen Lamar Jackson, because I follow him on all social medias. I have for 10 years now, 10 plus years. Never seen him play a video game. Like never once.
I think the only time is when he posted like the 2K codes that they give when like 2K comes out. That's the only time. But that's just for like brand. You know what I mean? It's always the ads for 2K.
Yeah. Not engaged, says Miles. That's right. Not engaged. He's not engaged. Right. We got to remember.
He was on the ping pong table during the film. They were playing ping pong.
Exactly. Here's another one from Rosengarten.
No, I think Jesse's done a great job, coming in and, explaining his vision to us and, bringing in his surrounding staff. It's been phenomenal. I can't speak enough about Coach Jesse and the job he's done and what he's done. Everyone knows he's a great defensive mind, but the way he's able to bring in, Declan Led and the surrounding staff on the offense, it's been outstanding. So,
love that from Rosengarten. Everybody's talking up Jesse Minter. Rosengarten said a lot today. I do want to get to some of this Dwayne Ledford stuff.
Oh, there he is.
Let's listen to Dwayne Ledford.
I think with Roger, one of the things that we're talking about is a little bit now of a leadership role. Because I think that his play style, that's an example for us. And we want to highlight that and also have some of the younger guys to kind of go under, like to build a watch and follow and have Roger kind of mentor. And, I'm really excited about Roger. I remember when he was coming out in the draft, just who he was as a player. He's very athletic. He's got some really good skills for up front at the tackle position. And I'm just excited about what he can do with what we're going to ask him to do in this offense. I think with Roger.
Listen, man, Dwayne Ledford. I've been stamped this. I've already claimed this. Like from the moment we hired him, I am a fan. I'm a member of the White Dudes Named Dwayne fan club. Okay, I'm in there. I'm in that fan club. And by the way, I mean, is it just me? I don't want to look. Dwayne Ledford, he kind of looks like somebody that we know, Alex. He looks like another Ravens content creator. And it's not like a shot at anybody. I just noticed that. Like, he kind of looks similar to my guy Ryan from the Flock Rundown. Not gonna lie. Like, it looks like this could be his dad. And again, that's not like a shot or anything like that. It's just like an observation. Dwayne Ledford, love the guy. Love the guy. I can't say enough about him. His energy, man. He's I can't wait to see what he brings to this O-line.
The way he talks, like, just screams football. Like, you can tell, like, his whole life is just the sport. I think the way he answered the question, the fact he was smiling, how loud he got, shows me, like, this is all I care about. And
he's damn near knocking over the microphone.
Right. Like, he's like, no PR, like, trained at all. Like, no press training. He's just like, I'm talking about football and football only. I don't care what I say. And I love that. It's authentic.
Yeah. Let's hear another one.
I've been really impressed. He's got a great. He's got a.
Talking about here, Venga. Talking about Venga.
He's very smart. He understands the game up front. He's done a really good job as far as like understanding what we're asking of him, especially in that position. And he's got some really good feet that allows him to do a lot of things up front. That being his size is pretty special. And so I just think that, he keeps trying to go out and he's got a mindset where he's trying to get better every day. And to me, like the sky's the limit for that. And very excited about him, the growth that he has in front of him, and just the steps that he's taken with it. Very excited for Vinga.
So are we. 14th overall pick, so are we. You know what I mean? We definitely need to see a return on investment, but all signs point towards, us getting that return on investment, so far at least, from Venga Ioane. Cannot wait to see what we get out of him.
Mr. Ledford. He was away from the mic, too. Like I said, no press training, no nothing. He just wants to talk about football. Doesn't care where the mic is.
Nope. Now let's hear from Jesse.
I think you'll see just over a little bit of time, like a steady progression for him. Now, what exactly that timeline is, that'll shake out each day. We'll recap and make sure we're not going, to whatever. But I love where he's at. I love where his head's at. He's excited. The room's excited. It's fun when he's out there. And so I think that's headed in a great direction for us. I think
Nnamdi, good news on Nnamdi. You love to hear that.
Yeah, we were just kind of able to connect back when as spring training was getting kicked off, exchange a few text messages. Obviously.
Sorry, don't really care about the O's right now.
No, we shouldn't. The Orioles are a joke. I'm not gonna even get mad about them right now. They're. I don't know if you saw what happened today. They're a joke.
Oh no, I didn't see what happened.
They're 2.5 games out of a wild card spot, and they sold. We traded our catcher Adley Rutschman, All-Star, who was supposed to be our savior, to the Red Sox, to a rival.
Wow.
Orioles are a joke.
Holy GM malpractice, right?
Oh, GM's a fraud. He is crazy. He's up there. He should be a politician the way he lies. Sorry.
That is insane. Here's another one from Jesse.
Yeah.
I think, like
more Venga talk.
You're still a rookie, but when you go through the whole offseason and then you get that break, this year was, for everybody in the NFL, was a little bit longer break than maybe a normal year because of the calendar. Man, he feels like he's been doing it for a while now, and it shows up in how he operates, shows up in his retention of everything. It'll be really fun to watch him in that practice with pads on when we get upstairs. So excited about where he's at. Just keep being himself. He's a really highly talented player, highly motivated, works really hard, has a great coach, has great teammates. Expect big things out of him.
Yeah, just more great words for him, man. One more from Jesse.
In pads, always a fun day in training camp. They get much better than that. We were finally out here, playing a real football. We made the first day in pads more of a tag-off day with as far as finishing on the ball carrier. All the blocking and block destruction was able to be at a much higher rate than it was without pads. Tomorrow we'll incorporate a little bit more thud on the ball carriers, and so like where we're at, good first day, good energy coming off the day off, and take questions.
Yeah, so like we mentioned earlier in the show, today was not as, the pads were on, but they weren't quite as physical, specifically with the ball carrier, like tackling and things like that. But tomorrow they're ramping it up just a little bit more. So cannot wait to see what we get out of tomorrow's training camp. But I think that was about it in terms of media. We do have a super chat donation. This one's coming from Chef Trez. Shout out to Chef Trez, dropping the 10-piece in the chat, making it rain here on this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you, brother. Says, I'm not stressing about the offense. Doyle said they want to hunt for big plays, and that means more shots downfield. What do you got to say to that, Alex?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I'm not really too worried about them just on the screens in the practice, because you're trying to, keep it under wraps. I think we'll see it more so these next couple of weeks, and big plays, when the pads are on for a week or so. I'll be there Saturday, so I'm really hoping I see a big play to like a Jacoby Lane. I'd be freaking going crazy. But we also have the preseason in, I think, 12 days, that game against the Eagles. So we'll see more there. And then you have the game against the Vikings, the joint practice. So right now, it's just in the baby step staging, but we're starting to, take more steps. We're not, stumbling back and forth. We're walking. And then soon we're going to be running. So it's all going to come in time. It's August 3rd. But yeah, when those big plays come, we'll be able to tell. And I'm kind of just looking forward to see who is the receiver under the passes. Is it going to be Tez? We see Jacoby now. Obviously, is he Zay? Maybe more deep passes for him. I'm not too sure, but it's coming soon.
I'm telling you right now, Alex, they're going to keep allowing Jacoby Lane to run routes down the field and allowing Lamar Jackson to develop that chemistry and trust with him. I think they're actively trying to build. It's probably a very strategic thing that they're doing right now, calling plays. Hey, Jacoby, just get downfield. If you're downfield one-on-one, Lamar Jackson will throw it to you, right? And that's what's been happening. And he's been coming down with some of them. Okay, so I think you're going to continue to see that. In terms of Chef Trez's comment here, I do think that hunting for big plays looks a certain way. I think it looks like establishing the run, of course, and that's not anything groundbreaking or anything like that. But you're going to see a lot of wide zone and things like getting the defense and the linebackers flowing one way, and then boom, play action. And that's where we're hunting for that big play down the field. And that's where Jacoby Lane is streaking down the field one-on-one with a DB that's 4 inches, 5 inches shorter than him, and you're just going to toss it up to him. Those are where the big plays are going to come from. Zay Flowers on deep crossers, things like that. Those are where the big plays are going to come from. And I cannot wait to see it. Personally, I can't wait to see it. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think big plays also is going to be penalties, like you talked about Jacoby Lane. I think, when you say you're going outside, maybe send the play action, there's Jacoby Lane, one-on-one, and they're going to pull him back. There's a flag. One thing we didn't see was like outside zones on Saturday. Once again, I think that was on purpose. Why show your card? Why show them what we can do with Derrick Henry? I think that's why Derrick Henry didn't suit up. Why show them what Derrick Henry can do, what he's going to do with this new offense? Like the guys who sat out, yes, it's vet days, but I think there was a bigger reason behind it, which I'm fine with. I know it sucks not seeing them practice there, but you don't want to show your cards August 1st. Yeah. Long season.
No, I totally agree. Totally agree with that. Outside of that, Alex, I think that's pretty much about it. Now, I do want to say this. Football is officially back. It felt real for me today. Unlike any other, day last week with training camp, now that the pads are on, and then, oh yeah, by the way, we get a preseason game this week. This week is the Hall of Fame game. It's on Thursday between, I believe it's the Falcons and the Panthers. Apparently, you're going to get Kenny Pickett starting at quarterback for the Panthers. Not sure who's going to start for the Falcons, but Hall of Fame game is always the Ravens played in one some years ago. I think it was Lamar's rookie season, as a matter of fact, against the Bears, if I remember correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But okay, so great. But no, I mean, it'll just be fun to have football back. It's not going to be the most serious game, not the most competitive game, but it's just a bunch of guys trying to make the team. They're barely going to play any starters, if any. I don't think they're going to play any starters at all in the Hall of Fame game. It's just NFL football back on our TVs, live NFL football back on our TVs, literally Thursday. So we're back officially, Alex.
We'll probably see some Carson Beck. I know he was their third-round pick, so he'll probably get some time. Not sure of anybody else who they'll be starting, but hey, like you said, football's back, Hall of Fame game. We'll be watching. I know that for a fact. I'll have it on.
Yeah. Let me see. The man says Sutton showed the Bateman catch from Saturday. I mean, I don't need to show the Bateman catch. The man, like, what's understood it doesn't need to be explained, right? Y'all all saw it. We all saw it, right? Rashad Bateman, he has still got it. He's stacking days in practice. I think he's going to be a big part of this offense this season. Wide receiver too. I think he's locked into that position right now. He's kind of proven that so far across training camp. It's going to be Zay 1, Bait 2, potentially Lane 3. Tez has also been doing this thing as well. Don't get it twisted. Tez has been doing this thing as well. But I think the prospect of Jacoby Lane and what he really could be and mean for this offense probably gives him the nod over Tez, right?
Agreed. Now, are we done with the Ravens talk? Because I have one thing I want to talk about.
Yeah, go ahead.
Boy, that Texans defense is scaring me. I can't lie. I can't lie.
Yeah.
You add Jadeveon to Will Anderson, Daniel Hunter, already Jalen Petrie, Derek Stingley.
Scary sight.
CJ Stroud just has to play above average, maybe even average. Put up like 21 points a game. That defense, man, that was we talked about him coming back, but I feel like he really wanted to stay home in Texas, and good for him. That's a good defense right there.
Oh yeah, damn good defense. Also in Houston Texans news, they got Tank Dell back as well. Tank Dell is back with the Texans after tearing pretty much every CL that you can possibly tear, right, a couple years ago. Missed all of last season. And now he's back. So if he can get back to maybe, because it's going to be tough. I mean, you tear all those ligaments and whatnot in your leg, and you're a player who relies on your shiftiness and things like that. We'll just have to see how he ends up looking. But if he comes back and he's actually like still like as advertised, like what he was before, could be spooky for the rest of the league, man. This Houston Texans team is nothing to sleep on. Nothing to sleep on at all, man. In other news, I don't know if you heard this, but apparently on Poly Market, the market trading thing, it's gone to like a 97% yes on Aaron Donald coming back. Like it just spiked earlier today.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So like the word on the street is that like AD is probably going to come back to the Rams and play alongside Myles Garrett and all those other studs that they have on defense too that nobody really talks about that much. But that's gonna be another. You talk about scary defenses in this league. There's a couple of them. As scary as I think the Ravens defense can and will be. Some of those defenses, man, just have like a crazy amount of talent. Like you mentioned, the Houston Texans on all three levels, they've got guys who can make plays. Same thing with the Rams as well. You bringing in a Myles Garrett, bringing in a Trent McDuffie, one of the best corners in the league, right? And then also bringing back Aaron Donald, whatever he's got left in the tank, which I think is going to be more than enough for just one comeback season,
right?
Just like one season. Man, league's going to be exciting this year.
Hell, we saw Eric Weddle come out of retirement for the Rams for a playoff run and had the most tackles in the Super Bowl. So, man, if he's in that football shape, he'll still have it. He won't lose it. NFL, man, it's a great reality show. It is, because we're talking about, this guy might be coming back. Hell, we might see a Tyreek Hill reunion with the Chiefs maybe later in the year once his legs healed up, because who knows when that is. I fully expect that to happen. Yeah, Clowney going back to the Texans. You have Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show just spewing out his spewing. This Aaron Rodgers guy, man, the less said, the better. I'm glad he's a Steeler.
For sure. Dre says the football fan in me is excited to see AD with Myles Garrett.
Yeah.
For sure. And I'm glad we don't play the Rams this season. Now, if we play them in the Super Bowl, so be it. But I'm glad we don't play them in the regular season. We do play those Texans though, and I plan on going to that game, so that should be a tough one. But no, I did see the Aaron Rodgers interview, although I didn't watch it like in depth. I know he was talking about like the whole COVID thing and the Fauci thing, I want to say. And I was just like, I'm just gonna scroll past this. I don't really give a damn what Aaron Rodgers thinks about all that stuff, But Aaron Rodgers, he's just a character, man. And he's gonna speak his mind. I guess you could respect him for that, but I don't really care for his opinions all that much.
The Pat McAfee show, that's the show ESPN cut all those employees for, to keep that on air. I mean, that's my bigger problem. Like that's
I thought you liked the Pat McAfee show.
When it was on YouTube, it wasn't too bad. Since it went to ESPN, it's like very, dare I say, performative. Dare I say? Don't want to go too far. Obviously, you can get some good snippets off of there when they have Schefter on, Rappaport. When you have players on there, but there's some stuff where it's like, all right, how can we get clicks? And Aaron Rodgers coming on there just talking whatever will get you clicks. So
yeah. Okay. Well.
Yeah.
But yeah, Alex, I think that's about it here for this episode 429 of the Purple Rain podcast. I want to thank each and every one of you guys out there listening right now still for coming out and listening or watching this episode. We appreciate you so much. Please be sure to leave a like, a thumbs up on this video goes a long way in supporting our channel. So if you could do that for us, that would be amazing. If you are new to the channel, you just enjoyed this live stream or the replay, make sure you hit the subscribe button, because there's a lot more Ravens content where this came from. And like we mentioned, man, we are back. Pads are on. Preseason games are starting. Literally next month, we will be taking on the Indianapolis Colts in Indianapolis week 1 and officially opening the Jesse Minter era of the Baltimore Ravens. I can't wait. I know you can't wait. Again, we need to all be here talking about these happenings together as they transpire day to day. Again, to do that, stay locked in by hitting the subscribe button. We appreciate you guys. But with that being said, I'm going to let Alex take us out.
Thank you. And yes, the Purple Rain parlay is coming back. I think I'm going to have my picks on Thursday already, so I cannot wait for that. For some season futures, I've been looking at some research, looking at some players, so I can't wait. Right before the new season starts on the preseason of the 6th. But yes, we will see you then. And as always, stay positive, test negative.
Yes. And never, ever, ever forget, even on the rainiest of days, to call God. And may purple rain. By the way, one more thing. Fantasy Football League. Rain Gang Fantasy Football League. Coming for the members here soon. Stay tuned. But yeah, peace, guys.